Hello. Usually I'm on this side. I'll change things up.
Give it 1 second, everyone. So a whole bunch of you are coming in.
There's precarious. Look how close to the edge this is.
Can anyone who has a seat next to them, can you please raise your hand? I think talk a little bit about working with Chris Hemsworth, and was it tough because he's from Australia?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the first thing you have to get over, really, with the Australians, is the accent. It's sort of just like this thing being drilled in the air. He's... What are you laughing at? He's really cool. Really good looking. I think the initial thing you have to get over is like how someone that's like that good looking and that jacked could also be funny and like a good actor. But yeah, every day he would come to set with a lot of ideas. He was always, his thing, just like me actually, I think that's why we hit it off a lot. He's very attuned to like what the audience might want to see, because he grew up watching a lot of these movies, you know, and he's like, yeah, but the audience will like, this will be a really cool moment for them if we do this, and like if this joke happens here, or if there's a really emotional part here, I'm like, yeah, you're basically directing the film, it's awesome. You know, because that's really what you're trying to think of most of the time, is like not really like cool smart ass prank shots and stuff, and what makes me look cool. So how's the audience going to like love this moment, or like, you know, how we kind of serve them, because we're really just serving the audience as filmmakers, you know. So, but he's very attuned to that. He's very engaged in like how in script stuff, and yeah, he's and yeah, I definitely loved working with him. And kind of balance my opinion about the cards that come in, because like, you know, you probably all know that, you know, the audience writes down their opinions on these cards. And I think we did about 5 screenings, and literally every screening would get at least one card that said, what was your favourite thing about the film? It was really funny. What was your least favourite thing about the film? Too many jokes. So I was like, I don't know how to fix this for you. I don't know what you want from us, but this is a cool idea.
Did you make any changes, though? I mean, because I know that Kevin Feige talks about always wanting to plus the movie. And now every Marvel movie does additional photography. So what did you learn in those other early screenings that maybe you did in additional photography to make the film even better?
We really like took the story apart. We changed a lot of things. We did like, I think we did a version of the film with like, basically zero humor in it, just to kind of focus on the story. It was disastrous, and then put all the humor back in. And really, we were just trying to kind of find out whether what we had felt comfortable with was really the best version of the film. Because we were lucky that we had enough time to experiment and try different versions, and really, just sort of figure out, and what they want to do, why they keep, trying to plus and trying to like dismantle the film and restructure it and try to shoot new things, and it's just to try and get the best version. And a lot of it's also to do with pacing, with tone, trying to balance things. And there's a version of the film which was all jokes, which was also a disaster, because like people would just switch off if it's just jokes 100% of the time. If there's no if there aren't any stakes, and if it's just like kind of just ridiculous shit the entire time, then it's sort of people switch off and they don't engage with the characters and stuff. So we had to concentrate a bit more on that, and because on set we were just trying to have fun the entire time and trying to so but the editing thing, I don't really thrive in the edit. I like to take lots of breaks and fall asleep a lot, and I find it quite stressful watching the thing over and over again. I love being on set, and I love like coming up with stuff, and that's when I feel like I'm most active and I've got the best ideas. But in the edit, it's just it's a very arduous, long process, and also you're gone from being on a set with hundreds of people, and you're joking around, you're having a great time, to like being in a room with one person in the dark, for a year. And you're looking at the back of their head for a year, and you just like want to just get a baseball bat and like just take their head off. It's just like, and I do a lot of editing myself, so you know, often you kind of just this is what I mean, that's what I want, you know. And so it's, and then but then you have these breakthroughs, and you kind of, you know, and you think, oh my god, I'm a genius. It took 7 months. Yeah, and the edit really is the place where you're where you're shaping it and making it really something watchable.
Like a first cut that you were happy with.
How long is this?
I think like 2 hours.
I don't even know how long this is. What is it?
I think it's 2:10. Anybody? 2:10. It's 2:10.
It's a good length. I think it was like 2:30.
I like how confident you are in the 2:30.
I think.
I won't pressure you on the final number.
I don't know.
Sure. I'm always curious about deleted scenes, but it seems like
no, I really don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Someone else. Surely someone with an actual job. That's their job.
I'm going to say
really short. I wanted a 2-hour movie.
Well, you talked last at Comic-Con last.
I was lying. Well, man, all the people up in arms on Twitter. It's got to be 90 minutes. It's got to be 90 minutes. Sundance film.
Wait, you mean that people get upset on Twitter? I've never seen this. This is shocking.
You just have to be really nice to them, and then all you do is agree with them, and then they get super confused. But I can't believe you ruined Thor. I'm like, I know. And then they go, I liked it. I like you. Oh, cool, you're cool, man. Suddenly you're like buddies. The listeners, just be nice.
I listen. I love the third act action set piece, especially when Thor, the thunder comes down. He's lands on the bridge and just kicks everyone's ass. Talk a little bit about crafting that action set piece, getting Led Zeppelin, and just putting that thing together.
Yeah, that thing it was always too big. So in our edits, that big bridge piece where you're jumping around, between here and there, and all these characters, and also like in the edit, I remember just thinking like, man, what are we doing? This is there's hundreds of people here. There's a giant wolf. There's zombies. There's this chicken antlers. There's this lightning guy. There's this annoying, long-haired dude. Yeah, so that it's just and there's the Hulk. And there's this rock guy. And this insect guy. It was like I remember thinking, this is too crazy to have to be in a movie. But that we really. I think when they first talked to me about this, their intention was to try and make something so kind of outlandish and over the top with this that we basically just ran full bore into that and just said, okay, yep, more zombies, more giant wolf, more Hulk, so and then more Led Zeppelin, it's, the only thing that third act is missing is some dude on a mountaintop playing electric guitar. Lightning firing out the end of his guitar. It feels like the entire third act feels like an album cover from some metal band from the 80s. But that was a huge undertaking and massive headache.
It's also a bookend in the beginning of the first act. The beginning of the film, you use Led Zeppelin, and then it's saved until the very end.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about getting Led Zeppelin.
No, I'm not wanting. You haven't asked questions. You've just said talk about this. You haven't even asked me to. And I'm not focusing a bit more on these people. because I've had my back to these guys for a while, and I haven't forgotten yet. And the first 10 minutes of this is just being on your phones, seeing a video of the back. My sizzle reel that I went in to pitch the film, pitch on film with had Immigrant Song on it, and so right from the very beginning, it kind of felt like it was part of this thing, and so the Immigrant Song. And I was just surprised that no one had used that song with this character. It feels like the song was written about him. And then Kevin and those guys, they really loved the song, and then right from the very beginning, there was a kind of very sort of loose intention to try and get the song for the film. And as we know, it's very notoriously hard to get rights for their songs. And I think we sent them a version of the trailer, and then I think they thought, wow, we could be cool. We could be cool again. They're always cool.
I'll leave that one there and we'll move on to a certain cameo. Now that the movie's been out for a while, we can freely talk about certain things like a Matt Damon cameo.
Yeah.
You guys like, yes, Matt Damon. Thanks.
Right. Matt Damon, Sam Neill. Talk a little bit about getting them in the film, and obviously, the Matt Damon thing's amazing, and I don't know, how did you manage to keep it under wraps the whole time?
I don't think it's lasted very long. We shot that bit with him in doing pickups or additional photography or reshoots. We call them pickups. But then I think about a week later, so there was a rumor already spreading. The crew were not very good. Keeping their mouth shut, but yeah. So yeah, but that was never a plan. It was like a last minute thing. We'd already had Luke Hemsworth, Chris's brother, playing him, which I think the reason that whole thing is funny is because he's so committed and so earnest to the performance of mocking his brother. Crying and crying. So every time we cut to Matt saying something stupid, we cut back to Luke and he's like crying over the stupid lines of the stupid death scene. But that whole scene, that was right from very early on. That it was an intentional part of the film. It was almost like our way of saying goodbye to the other films.
Everyone loves the Marvel after the credit scenes. So talk a little bit about how you decided on the two that are in here. Did you have others that you thought about putting in?
The one with the brothers, that was actually Kevin's idea. He wanted to see something with there, and just to kind of tee up something that hints at something else. I don't know what you were talking about at the time. And then the last one was actually a scene that got cut. It was part of the big long scene. It was exactly what I'm talking about. These extended scenes we shot with Jeff outside the spaceship with this big giant group of revolutionaries. We've got an hour of footage of him just talking to these people, and he's trying to get them back on the side. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you sing the Sakarian national anthem? And I'm telling him the lyrics to this song as we're making it up. I'm like, Sakaria, Sakaria, asshole of the universe. Yeah, he sang this entire song, and I hope that's on the TV.
I really, really need to see that.
You do need to see that. I mean, it went on. It was like, what the shit was he saying? I love this thing. We came up with this thing where he was talking to them about, I don't know how we got into it. He starts talking about camping. He was like, I'm gonna decriminalize camping. Everyone's allowed to camp now. Camp to your heart's content. He was going on about this thing about. We came up with this thing. It was like, the thing with camping is that, well, I mean, why do you need a tent? Why is it like that? I never understood why you needed a tent. It's just like another layer of clothing. It's just like about 4 foot away from your body. And just bring it closer and you can walk around. And we're all camping. Some of us choose to wear our tents very close. There's stuff like that couldn't be in the movie.
Going back to the after the credit scenes, though, did you have any other scenes that you thought about that almost made the cut that could have been?
I shot a scene where Jeff and Topaz were on the spaceship that they'd stowed away on the Asgardian spaceship, and they were on there at the end, and the camera guy goes through the crowd and it's on the backs of these 2 Asgardians. They turn around, and it's them, and he's like going, Earth. No, I don't know about that place. I've been there before, a long time ago. It's just like lizards and mosquitoes. And really boring. And he's like, just take our time. We'll get this. We'll get back up top. And it seemed weird that he was on that ship at the end of the film. And so, go on.
I think we're going to... There we go. So a few more questions.
7 full-on minutes of crazy, no holds barred questions. Good.
Thank you for making Thor awesome and clever again.
It's got to be a question. Come on, girl.
I'm just kind of curious if you ever sought out or conferred with either Alan Taylor or Tam Grandma, or if that's something that you purposely try to avoid, from trying to have a more expressive perspective.
No, I didn't.
During the gladiator pit when they're all chanting thunder for Thor, was that at all inspired by Thunderstruck music video?
No, it wasn't.
Is there a version of this with Lady Sif? And if not, where is Lady Sif?
No, there isn't.
What's your next movie?
Don't know.
What's the biggest thing that's changed about your process from your first feature up until now?
Nothing.
When you came from the original version you guys did, how helpful was the original shorts you did with Thor to this movie?
None. Can't remember. Blocked it out. Norwegian fields are way cooler than New York alleyways.
So I noticed there's like themes in all these characters. A lot of them want like recognition, Loki wants recognition from Thor, Helen wants recognition from whatever. And I was just wondering, what was your thought process in doing that? Was that part of the script? And I guess could you talk a little about the character themes?
No, I can't. Recognition, yeah. We all want to. No, I'm not leaving.
I was going to say there's a chance.
Stand up. I hate these seats. So it's been like 5 months in these seats.
He's going on a stand-up tour soon.
Don't get one of these seats. I didn't think too. For me, it was just about family. Yeah, and I realized all my films are about family. Probably all films are about family.
I actually have a Cinema 101 class tomorrow morning.
Cool. Good luck, man.
Well,
That wasn't a question.
I was wondering if you have any words of wisdom to say to my fellow students.
Any words of wisdom to the Cinema 101 class tomorrow morning?
What do you do in the class?
Well, we actually just finished a 1-minute short project where
It's not cinematography. It's
just a film class.
Okay, film class. Oh, keep going. Never give up on your dreams. Yeah, sometimes the mountain seems insurmountable. But if you just put on your climbing shoes and get one of those ski poles, one foot after another, never stop till you get to the top. And then at the top of that mountain, at the apex, that is when you will look out over the vista. The vista surrounding you, and you will realize in that moment, I didn't need to go to film school.
I'm sure my professor will like that.
Thank you.
So I noticed a lot of your films include Maori culture, and I was wondering, how did you infuse that in Thor and like some hidden stuff that we didn't know that is in there?
So Facebook, the question is, how did I infuse this film with the indigenous culture of New Zealand, the Maori culture, and forgot the rest of it, but I'm gonna launch into my answer right now. It's not really a thing that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make Thor really indigenous. It was more like I just there's parts of because all my films were made in New Zealand. We like, you know, we have a very integrated indigenous culture there. It's not like, you know, it's very different. We don't just like. So it's like, you know, so we would start. You wouldn't make a film in New Zealand without starting with like a traditional ceremony, you know, from the local tribes or on the land that you're shooting in. And so in Wilder People, every time we moved around the country, we would get the local tribes to come and welcome us there and kind of just give us a blessing and make sure that, you know, and then it sort of puts us under like a kind of protection in that area. And so we did the same thing in Australia with the local Aboriginal tribes, and they came in and took care of us at the beginning of the shoot and then closed up our whole shoot at the end of the shoot as well. And it's something very important to me because growing up in that culture, you know, in Māori culture, it's just something that is very part of me and part of how I've made all of my films. And yeah, it's something I hope to see at some point in the future in America, because there is no part of America where you can't find someone who actually is from there. And it's not a huge effort to just get in touch with them and say, hey, we're shooting this stupidly big film here. Is that okay? You know, like, can you come and kind of welcome us in? You know, so it's a small gesture, but then on top of that, in Thor, we put out a call to the local communities, and we invited a lot of the youth to come in and do internships on the film, and sort of like have kind of job opportunities on the film that certainly I didn't have growing up in my community, and some of those people have gone on to keep working for Marvel and keep working on films, and yeah, it's just like I think it's just a nice thing to do. Yeah.
Can you talk about your comedic background and how you bring comedy to your films, and when it comes to structuring your jokes, how your timing, I guess, hits, because you do a really good job of balancing comedy with an emotional hit immediately after the fact, like when the planet blows up.
Oh yeah, I'm very surprised that they allowed us to do a joke after that planet blew up. Very surprised. I said that joke as a just like, oh well, ha ha ha. It's not good in the movie, but just because with my character, it's very easy to stand there and say stuff, and it's very easily deleted from the movie. So I sort of messing around a lot, but yeah, that definitely is like something in most of my films, that style of joke, sadness, that style, I mean, personally I feel like that style of comedy was really taken from growing up with like a mixture of American comedy and British comedy, and so, you know, and there's great things about both. Like in What We Do in the Shadows, there's this joke that when we tested the film and we played it, the audience in America never really laughed. And it's when Johnny's character Deacon goes, I used to be a Nazi vampire. So I was a vampire in the Nazi war. I don't know if you know, but the Nazis lost the war. Oh, now you laugh. Now you laugh. But like we were like the people that were going, oh, you got to cut that out, you know. And so we were like, why not? Why? And they're like, yeah, but everyone knows that the Nazis lost the war. This is insane. This is insane. We've got to educate people on like jokes. You know, because, so we left it in. But then there's certain just certain things where I feel, and what's also different, I think, about certain types of comedies that, like American comedies, it's usually like lists of things in the movies, where it's like lists of puns and word plays, and it's like, okay, we're just going to run the camera lots and lots and lots, and you're going to say the same thing, basically again and again, with different versions, whereas like, I think kind of, and also like another thing with jokes, with humor in a lot of these films is that the jokes are written 6 months before you're shooting. So by the time you start shooting, the joke is stale, and they don't know who was cast, they don't know what the set was like, and it's just a bunch of writers in a room kind of patting each other on the back, going like, "That's going to be so hilarious when he says that quip," and so you get to set, and like what we like to do is, and he's saying, and it's like there's so much more to find on the day, so much more to explore, and so so the joke in the script for me is more of a suggestion, and it's like, well, here's what it could be, but let's go a bit deeper and try and find something else. So it's all about like, my favorite humor is really stuff that just goes on too long. Really.
So back in March, Collider did an article talking about your film Get Ready to Come Out and some pre-interviews they had with you, and you had mentioned that they struggled a little trying to, you were taking like reference and inspiration from, and that's one of my personal favorite all-time movies. So I just wanted you to touch on that a little bit, like how that movie inspired you and what way informed.
Kurt Russell is one of the greatest actors of all time. And were you clapping for him or for my stats? I love him. I love 80s heroes. Because who I grew up with. I grew up with people who, I love those people who are, especially like Jack Burton. He's lovable. He's the kind of hero that you want to follow on the journey, because you kind of know he will take care of you, even though he's a bit of a buffoon. And the thing I love about that movie the most, he's got one goal in that movie, and that's to get his truck back. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about that chick from Sex and the City. He's like, I just want my truck. And the other cool thing in that movie is he's asking questions constantly that the audience is asking. Who's this old guy with the magic potion? Who's this chick? Who's this reporter chick? Who's this guy? What's this gang? If you watch the movie, he asks that question. He asks those questions in every scene. What's this monster? What the hell are we doing here? Where's my truck? What am I, And so going in, I thought, well, that's, Thor needs to be the coolest part of Thor, and he needs to be that kind of hero that we want to. He doesn't have to be cool all the time. He doesn't have to have all the answers. But he needs to ask the questions that we're going to ask, and he needs to be someone we want to follow, or we want on our team, and to look after us. And that's really what the focus with Chris was. And because Chris already is basically that person, someone you just want on an adventure with you, it was more just about making Thor more like him, more like Chris.
I think we can only do a few more. Oh, right there.
I have a question about Kate Blanchett's color costumes. How much of them were practical? Like the antlers and the cape, a lot of times it looks like it's there, and then other times it looks like it might be CG, because I noticed the antlers tend to...
The antlers move, and she was never wearing those things, because it just would feel, I think, it's so hard. Kate is a brilliant actor, but she's got a very, very brittle neck. And that's always been I've always said it. If you read any of my blogs, or any of my tweets, I've always said the problem with Kate's acting is her weak, thin neck. You put something heavy and ridiculously wide on that head. It'll break her. I wanted to put a thing in where she couldn't get through a doorway. He was.
That would have been great.
But yes, and then she was wearing. We did have practical suits and stuff. I mean, I don't know how it all. I'm there.
You're throwing yourself under the rug.
I'm like the most like. My specialty is like people talking in a rectangle. Like that's. I don't know how they made that stuff look good.
On that note, I'm going to say a few things. Number one, again, thank you to IMAX, Marvel, and Disney for letting us do the screen. Thank you to Korg for showing up. And thank you so much. Are you? I just wanted to say thank you for having me here. Just been such an honor to have all of your questions. He's going to exit the theater, and then we are slowly going to leave the theater, and there might be a place for him to sign some posters for you to, stuff like that, but we're going to do this in an orderly fashion.
What would be easier? What would be easier is if I just do sign once on that white paper, you scan it. You all give your email, and they just send it to you. And you write your name on it, or just maybe get Photoshop. It's not expensive. It's $14 a month. You get creative suite, whatever it's called. And you just stick it on the poster. Cool. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Really nice to see you guys.